this is breaking news. Floyd Mayweather is officially broke.
What? After all that bragging?
Yeah, and after like $1 billion and supposedly being like the most well-paid athlete of all time, he actually is. Now, we've heard this for a long time. Now, we've heard 50 Cent tell us this. We've heard rumors of this. I know Jake Paul, from their celebrity boxing match said that, Floyd still owed him like $1 million. Floyd still owed him $1 million. Well, the thing is I never really believed it because, the guy literally made hundreds of millions of dollars. And not only that, but he was still, even up until recently, taking fights. They were exhibitions, but he was still taking fights and getting paid, 50 million, 20 million, 100. So I don't see
the man got money.
Yeah, I just was like, and then also like, what type of broker we talking about here? We talking about like
subjective.
You know what I'm saying? And also, to your point, he's made a lot of content he's spoken a lot about his investments and investing money, all of that. Well, come to find out, Floyd really did blow all the money and literally blew all the money. And for the first time, we have this investigative journalist. Yes, investigative journalist who is diving into the case because now Floyd is suing his business manager and suing his pay-per-view. I think it's like HBO or Showtime, whatever, for hundreds of millions of dollars, and trying to say that they robbed him and trying to say that they stole the money or they didn't invest it correctly. So what they're going to do now is this guy's going to go through and break down exactly how Floyd is lying and all the places that he spent the money in.
They got the right one, huh?
They got the right one because the lawyer that was managing his money took screenshots of everything as it was happening. So Floyd is now, so he's going to go through breakdown exactly how Floyd basically stole his money. How basically Floyd flushed his money down the toilet. And it's actually crazy because he had been living on basically borrowed time the entire time because he essentially spent everything as soon as it came in.
I can't believe that.
This is wild. Like, watch the breakdown and see how this man was able to go from hundreds of millions of dollars to zero.
His jewelry. Here's a text on August 25th, 2025 of Jonas sending Floyd an image of his watch and the word loan below. That represents that watch as being within the group that was being pawned. Here's the second image sent on that day. The top image is a collection of watches that were grouped together for a November loan and that many had been returned after the balance was paid down. Here's the next message of another collection of watches that were used for a loan. The image on the left is an exhibit Floyd included in the complaint. Within this list are 4 of the watches you see in the text message on the right that were included in the group of watches that were pawned. This indicates he continues to lie about not knowing that his watches were getting pawned for a loan to fund his lifestyle. What was told to me is that Floyd was running out of money. Now, obviously, his broke is a lot different than broke for me and you. But at this time he needed money, so he decided to pawn $13 million from his watch collection. He does have his own jet and has flown private for a couple decades. And he has an extensive exotic car collection. But what has been shared with me is that his lifestyle is so expensive that he constantly needs to take out loans against all his assets. And it's fine when he's fighting and making money because he can pay the loans back. But it's kind of like musical chairs. Here's Floyd texting about having to give up all of his jewelry and watches and all of his women's bags. Further, he sent the text, "Don't forget about my ladies' Birkins, also that's a part of the $13 million. In December 2025, Floyd texted, "Please keep me updated on my jewelry and Birkins, thanks." Back in March, so around 7 months after he began pawning, he texted his pawn shop lender asking about the balance he owes so Jonah knows what the number is. Jonah, as Floyd's manager and the one who handles all the financial transactions, is the one who ensures that all the loans are paid off. The lender responds $1.85 million in checks, $10.8 million in jewelry, and $1.47 million in fees. And he mentions needing another $360,000 by Friday so the fees don't keep adding up. Floyd received the $13 million for pawning watches in his supposed $100 million watch collection. Jonah shared with me that people pay up to 3% per month, which is why the fees were so high. That loan was almost paid in full. If you reread Joel's message, it makes sense. Joel says, "I have recouped everything and hasn't had to sell any pieces. All that remains is another $360,000 so Floyd doesn't have to pay any more fees." In case you aren't following, Joel can sell the watches that were pawned if Floyd doesn't pay the $13 million back. But he didn't need to sell watches because he was paid back and made $1.5 million in fees. In the complaint, Floyd discusses pawning his $100 million jewelry collection with the words, "to be pledged or placed in the possession of Joel, a Miami jewelry dealer." The amount received was around $13 million. A substantial portion of the pledged jewelry remains in the possession of Joel and Modi, and no accounting has been provided to Mr. Mayweather, and then alleges that the consideration received was diverted by Recknitz and not paid to Floyd. I just shared the text messages between Floyd and Joel, showing the accounting of the transaction, and that nothing seemed to be awry. This is not the first time Floyd has had to take a pawn loan. Earlier last year, he borrowed $1 million from his friend Avi, the owner of Avi & Co., against his $18 million Jacob & Co. watch. Upon research...
Now, this is the craziest thing. Now, you remember when he bought this watch? He bought it for $18 million. It's like the most expensive watch purchase of all time. The watch is only worth $2 million.
Money management, financial literacy.
Like
This
they
is so
literally
bad.
just made a watch and told Floyd that it's worth $18 million, but it's not worth $18 million.
It was never.
It was never, when he bought it, it wasn't worth $18 million.
No, I thought it just depreciated.
No, it was never worth $18 million. They just said that this is an 18. They literally just made a watch that costs $2 million.
Isn't that what they're doing anyway?
I mean, but the actual jewelry has a price tag attached to it. You get what I'm saying? So you can't add like a $16 million premium because you slapped Jacob and Co on the side. That's what I'm saying. And then also, there's no one else who can buy it. You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna pay for that? Because it's not worth the ice on it. You get what I'm saying? You can make this if you got 18 million and you want to watch that look like that, you could just spend 2 million and make it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So why would I do that?
Right. No financial literacy. This is really, really bad.
And it's crazy
and
because
embarrassing.
Exactly. And the fact that, like, you know, you see the money, you see the cars, you see the clothes, and you see the bags that he buys all these.
Haunted us with it.
But also, like, you see, like, the women, right? Like, he'll be like 4 or 5 women. Everybody got bags, and, like, you know, and them Birkins be 50,000, 100,000. So he's pawning their bags, pawning his bag collection, and living off the money, and then having to go to fucking China and fight somebody to get $20 million so he can pay that shit off and be back to zero. He fighting to get back to zero. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
Church, I realized.
And it gets, and look, the craziest thing is it just gets worse. It's like the malfeasance, the way he played himself, the way he ran his, like, it was all him. It was like some MC Hammer shit. Like,
spent
crazy
every single month on his team, and Jonah estimated
watch
around a
this.
fraction of that. Why is Floyd Mayweather pawning jewelry despite being so wealthy and always seemingly around cash? I asked Jonah how much Floyd spends every single month on his team, and Jonah estimated around $1 million. What happens when you can't afford your team's salaries? Here's a video from Floyd's assistant of his entire jewelry collection as they took photos and video of all of the jewelry before pawning. This photo is the same table from the video before with cash on the table, as that was the cash delivered for pawning the jewelry. When you add up
that's why you can't believe nothing you see. You see a table, he take a picture of it. See, that's why I got to get better at stunting, because they just be lying.
But see,
he literally, well, think about it.
Yeah.
He flexing on you with the jewelry he just pawned. This ain't even, this the money that they just gave him that you're borrowing. That's crazy work, bro.
that is insane. But you know, like you said, people falling for that.
Yeah, you think he got all his money? He ain't got the watches, other money. That ain't his
So
money,
it's really
and them
not
ain't
to
his
be
watches
real.
no more.
It's not. That is so bad.
Floyd's entire lifestyle, he could easily be spending $2 to $3 million per month, which means he probably needs to be making around $50 million of pre-tax income in order to just break even on that lifestyle expenses. When you're fighting Conor McGregor or Manny Pacquiao, you can cover that type of spend. But I always talk about this in my Athletes Going Broke series.
50 to break even is crazy.
These athletes will keep their lifestyle spend around the same, and when that income goes to essentially zero, they go broke pretty quickly. Floyd claims Jonah screwed him, but ironically, Jonah actually saved him from being bankrupt. Floyd claims he invested $31.5 million into real estate deals and has made a nominal amount of money as a return on his investment. I actually have the distribution letter for this portfolio. Here's the 3 portfolios listed totaling $31.5 million. The annual distribution for the total is around $3.9 million. Back in 2024, when
So it's actually pretty good. He put up 35, and he was making about almost $4 million a year from just the investment. So if you minimize, the problem is again, when you're Floyd Money Mayweather, you're fighting every year, multiple fights a year, you can do that. You're making enough money, but when you literally go from having $50 million paydays, $100 million paydays, or whatever the hell, and then to literally $3 million is not the same as 50. It's two totally different. $3 million is almost regular nigga, not regular, but regular millionaire money. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not buying 10 Maybachs for $3 million. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you're not having you can't afford a Bugatti if you're making $3 million a year.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't afford 5 of them in 3 mansions on 3 different coasts. You know what I'm saying?
Just
Like,
is what it is.
Yeah, you damn sure can't spend $1 million a year on your team if you're only making $3 million. You get what I'm saying? Or $4 million.
Floyd began investing in real estate, he had no liquidity, meaning he had no cash flow and essentially had no cash to his name. Jonah presents an idea to Floyd Mayweather, as Floyd at the time had 2 properties that were owned in full, however, they weren't being rented out, so they were costing him money every month. Jonah says you should invest that money in real estate so that you can start earning cash flow. In one of the exhibits filed with the complaint, Floyd shows the sale of his Beverly Hills and Miami properties. Instead of having 2 houses sit empty like before, Floyd is now earning almost $4 million every year in cash flow while owning valuable real estate in New York. So it's odd seeing him file this complaint alleging he's been screwed. Does anyone remember this fight? It was in 2015, 11 years ago. And this fight was in 2017. Al Heyman had to advance Floyd money from this fight because Floyd had already spent all of his money. All of this spending is not new. It's been going on for years. So think about this. It's been 9 years since that fight. Let's assume Floyd spends around $20 million per year, which is pretty reasonable given his lifestyle expenses. That would have meant he spent $180 million since that fight in 2017. He's always posted pictures with cash money because it's his branding. And he certainly has had a lot of money at one point. But spending a couple $1 million per month blows through this cash instantly. Floyd may have had a $100 million jewelry and watch collection, and that's certainly wealthy to me and you, but when you're spending $20, $30 million per year, that $100 million can dry up pretty quickly, which is why he now needs to exit retirement to fight Manny Pacquiao for a payday. One of the other claims is about Floyd selling his jet.
Yes, he has a new fight coming out now. That's crazy work. That's crazy.
That's insane.
Because both of y'all owe this shit now.
Right. Come on, man.
And not receiving any money. There's mention in the complaint that the block for the purchaser was left blank. What the media misunderstood was that the plane wasn't sold for $1 like the complaint lists here. Here's the actual signed contract, which does list the consideration of $1 and OVC, and you can see Floyd's signature down below. I think what was misunderstood is that the plane didn't actually sell for $1. OVC means other valuable considerations, which means the sale. Here's a text in the aircraft property collateral. To make it even more clear that
So Floyd was trying to say in the complaint that basically he's got his plane sold, but he didn't do it, or he didn't get all the money or whatever. But again, this lawyer was taking screenshots of all the video, of all the communication, of all the contracts, and bro, obviously you got paid for the plane. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Floyd knew about the
plane. Made sure you're paid for the plane.
Come on, G. And if you did, if someone stole a plane from you, I feel like we would have known about it earlier.
Plane purchase and the terms of the purchase and sale. Here's a text between Floyd and Jonah where Floyd writes, "Can you call me about the plane, please? I need for you to update me, please." And Jonah responded, "Plane is ready to close." Jonah saved hundreds of private images, screenshots of text messages, and I can understand why he did it. They were dealing with millions upon millions of dollars. Floyd was going broke, and Jonah worried that Floyd was going to start blaming those around him for his financial problems.
He was right.
Back in November 2025, Jonah sent this message to Floyd saying, "I can help continue to create income for you for life, but you need to start saving more money and spending less. Borrowing from a credit line should be for investment purposes, not to pay past due bills because we will have to pay it back." Floyd also claims that 80% distribution.
Nah, and this was a real one, because this is what he said. We would have to pay it back, and then what? For years, you take items with payments. Please don't do it anymore. The system that AI allowed is dangerous. It's too stressful catching up. Yes, dates can change. It will be different if it's money that I owed you personally, as if I borrowed it from you. But this is for investments in businesses. That's a lot of moving parts. You'll notice that I skipped a lot of games lately. What he was trying to say is, because Floyd at this point is going broke. So now the only real money that he had coming in that he wasn't fighting for, which is the investment money, other than his promotions, with the investment money, he now trying to pull out of real estate so he can get it back. But he's like, bro, this is not like it's in a bank, it's in a building. We are partners. I can't just pull $35 million out the building like it's just magic. We got to figure this out. So that's what he's saying. It's coming, but it's not like I can just take the money out.
Yeah.
You know that when you buy something like that. That's the whole point.
This is not Mayweather Promotions LLC, at fraud operating Mayweather Promotions and Frist Apex Venture, looking at a conference, EBE Aviation LLC.
And so now,
order to pay $1 million.
This is the part, and this is the thing you got to think about. Now he also has a new baby on the way. New baby on the way.
Offering.
He got a dancer pregnant at one of his clubs.
That's the best offering you got to the universe.
So now, you got to pay $1 billion back in back taxes, and he's probably paying $35,000 a month now. So,
I don't feel sorry for you.
I don't. First of all, I may feel sorry for you if you 22, you get your first million and you play yourself.
Yo.
Bro, you how old is Floyd? Late 40s?
What a Google? I don't know.
He got to be late 40s. So it's like, if not, I don't think he's 50. So like late 40, bro. You 45, 48.
You're just a typical
yeah,
person.
like
at
you
this
did that,
point.
like,
Ain't
bro.
nothing extravagant.
Yeah, you pulled that. You did what you wanted, nigga. You knew exactly what you was doing, bro. Like, ain't no the hell. So, and then also the fact that Floyd is allegedly, owes a lot of money in back taxes.
Arrest for his unpaid $3.35 million in taxes from 2018. This was sent to Wells Fargo to seize any money in Floyd's Wells Fargo account, and they did the same for his JP Morgan Chase account. Here's an official IRS tax lien document sent to Floyd Mayweather on his property for the amount owed of around $7.28 million for the years 2018 and 2023. Some might say he's not going broke, he just wants to push off paying back the IRS, but I think this next document is a smoking gun. This is the collection appeal request Floyd sent to the IRS on why he couldn't pay. The explanation he sent was, need more time to gather the funds to pay in full. This is the IRS about to start seizing his assets. This isn't a personal loan. Why in the world, if he's made hundreds of millions of dollars, why doesn't he just pay the couple $1 million so he can get the IRS off his back? Jonas still hasn't been served with a complaint, which means he can't.
Crazy. So
It's so insane.
this is another lesson that we have to stop learning in our community. Like this should be like, it's 2026. You got AI. You can talk to ChatGPT and tell it, ask it how to manage your money and not do this dumb shit. And it was simple math. Like, bro, if you're literally borrowing money for the last 10 years, basically living paycheck to paycheck, but in a Rolls Royce, I just think he became accustomed to it, and I don't think he knew how to stop being Floyd Money Mayweather.
All of the lives and boys that you have like really influenced off of a lie, and you can't even manage your money, like you are trash.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie.
Sorry.
And instead of being, to your point, instead of being like someone in the community, we can be like, oh, like that was an athlete that did it the right way. Now you're a cautionary
It's
tale.
just a cliche.
And then it's a cliche.
Yeah.
And the worst part is, as much as you have done in a boxing ring, this will taint your legacy more than anything. Because what's the point if you went out there and was the most winningest fighter ever, made literally $1 billion with your hands, and then has to at 50,
be like us at the food stamp line.
yeah, basically, or
You're no different.
or risk your mental health, because now
Right.
you're literally going into, like, you're not 25 no more. Like, bro, you can't be taking punches. I mean, you're the best defensive fighter of all time, but still, you can't take no punches to the head. You know what I'm saying? It's a
Not at
different
this
thing.
age.
Yeah, nigga, we trying to keep this shit, like,
Dementia's real.
So yeah, I just think it's terrible. And so hopefully good luck on the fight. But the problem is when this happens, the sharks come out, other people start talking about the money that you own, and then it gets harder to make more because now your brand is sullied. But I don't know. Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you think Floyd is broke? Do you think, maybe there's some type of mistake and he's doing okay? Let us know in the comments. Hit that follow button and share button.